Okay, we're going to start today. Is the mic on? Good morning. Can you hear? Okay. Happy New Year. We will begin this New Year's service with the ringing of the temple bell. At this time, please silence your cell phones and listen quietly as the sounding of the kancho is an invitation to settle our hearts and minds as we prepare to receive the Dharma. Thank you.
Namandam, 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 namandam.
Once again, happy first day of 2024. Good morning, and thank you for choosing to start off 2024 by attending today's Dharma family service. In spite of maybe being a little hungover, a little heavy on the stomach with all that mochi you ate and all that celebration you did last night, thank you for coming this morning. For Reverend Blayne, the first day of the new year is a time to reflect and with renewed dedication to endeavor to live a life of gratitude and joy within the compassionate embrace of Amida Buddha. Let's begin 2024 by rededicating ourselves to hearing and sharing the Dharma together as a community of friends and fellow travelers. I am Betty and I will serve as your MC this morning. Assisting at the temple with technical support are Zoom crew members Alan Matsumoto and Darren and Lynn Katayama. Corinne Chong is our organist and I will lead the singing. Please rise and let us start the service with the Vandana and Tisarana. Please chant both the Pali and English parts together with Reverend Blayne. Those of you on Zoom, be sure you have muted your mics.
Namo tassa bhagavato Namanda, 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 Namanda.
Please remain standing for an aspiration which will be shared by Reverend Blayne.
Please join me in Gasho. On this first day of the new year, we gather as friends in the Dharma, as fellow travelers along the journey of life. We renew our commitment to living the questions of our lives with open hearts and minds as we discern the lessons we will take with us into the year ahead. In this new year, may we be open to new possibilities, deeper kindness and acceptance, and more quiet acts of faith in grateful response to the dynamic working of great wisdom and compassion which sustains our lives. Let us endeavor to listen to the Buddha Dharma with not just our ears, but with our entire being, and strive to embody the teachings in our thoughts, through our words, and by our actions. In this new year, let us live the questions of our lives with wonder, gratitude, and joy. Let us be open to receiving new life and hope. Let us nurture creativity and opportunities. Let us live with greater compassion and grace for ourselves and others. In this new year, let us live more fully within Amida's compassion embrace. May we always take refuge in the Buddha, the one who shows us the way in this life, the Dharma, the way of understanding and love, and the Sangha, the community that lives in harmony and awareness. Entrusting in the dynamic activity of all-inclusive wisdom and all-embracing compassion, we call the honored name of Amida, the Buddha of infinite light and life, in gratitude, joy, and awareness. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu.
Please be seated. It is now time for the offering of incense. We invite all Sangha members in attendance to please come up and offer incense if you wish, starting with the front rows and moving towards the back. Let us observe a moment of silent meditation.
Namanam, 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 namanam.
Reverend Blayne will now lead us in chanting Gasho to Amida. Words can be found on the laminated sheet in the back of the pews and on your screen.
Composed by the Reverend Kenru Suji, Gasho to Amida is a hymn that praises the Buddha of infinite light and life and celebrates the activity of great compassion which sustains our lives. This hymn reminds us that we should humbly approach life with our palms pressed together in reverence, gratitude, and joy. We chant these words so that we may hear the Dharma and awaken to the virtues of the Buddha. May our voices together express our profound gratitude and appreciation for the Buddha's great benevolence. Namo Amida Butsu. I recite Amida's name with deep joy and gratitude. I gasho to Amida. Trees and grasses and flowers all grow in great compassion. This light shines throughout the world. I gasho to Amida. Flowers bloom and flowers fall. From the seed sprout new flowers. This is the truth unchanging. I gasho to Amida. Springtime brings the happy birds. Their songs all praise Amida. I join them in Nembutsu. I gasho to Amida. When I call Amida's name, it's Amida calling me. Buddha's voice, my voice are one. I gasho to Amida. When I'm lonely, I recite Namo Amida Butsu. Then I feel great compassion. I gasho to Amida. Nembutsu in work and play. Every day with Amida. Every moment filled with light. I gasho to Amida. Remember the golden chain. Kindness to all living things. I will follow this teaching. I gasho to Amida. In the clear bright morning sun. sheri guali bayo 등에 verrataining awaken mind. We are born in the land of peace. Namannabu, 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 namannabu.
Please rise for singing of the Gatha, Living Gratefully. Words are on the handouts and on your screen. Let's all live in harmony, trying to live as one. All of us together, always living life with Buddha's love. Hand in hand we move along. Let's all live in peace. Strive to be the best we can, living gratefully. Kindness to every living thing, showing our gratitude, loving all our friends and family, showing thanks for all they do. Hand in hand we move along. Let's all live in peace. Strive to be the best we can, living gratefully. You may be seated. The first Dharma Message of 2024 will be given by Reverend Blayne.
Good morning, everybody. Happy New Year. Shinnen akemashite omedetou gozaimasu. Haoli makahikiho. First of all, just thank you for being here. I know some people are kind of hungover, some people might be straggling in, but it's a nice way to start the new year together as Sangha, as our temple family. So the turning of the year, right, is a sacred time of reflection and renewal. We pause to reflect on all that we experienced in the past year, and we seek to renew our spirit as we venture into an unpredictable future filled with opportunities. The new year is also a time of celebrating ohana and traditions that have been passed down through the generations. The foods and the symbols of the Japanese New Year remind us of who we are, the rich legacy of our ancestors, and offer wisdom for living. Many families, and here at Temple, we make mochi, right, for the new year. The act of making mochi together is a time of joyful work that reminds us of our profound connection to each other and how we do not live alone and how we cannot survive by ourselves. The sacred symbol of the new year is the stacked okazari mochi, or kagami mochi, topped by an orange fruit. Traditionally, dai is used in Japan, which is a kind of citrus fruit, which is a symbol of longevity because the fruit will remain on the tree for several years if no one picks them. They turn orange in winter and back to green in summer. Dai in a different character also means several generations, or generation to generation. Now, the stacked mochi represents a mirror that reflects our lives. The stickiness of the mochi represents all that binds us together as family and as community. Each year we celebrate these connections, these bonds of love and ohana. And while we use tangerines here in Hawaii, the symbol of what the orange fruit represents remains a powerful symbol of what endures through the generations. Each year we reflect on our profound connection to those that have come before. We celebrate our interdependence with them and with each other, and with all who are come after us. This is the spirit of Dai, of generation to generation. So yesterday, in between planning service preparation and recovering from mochi making the day before, I took the time to make nishime. And growing up, my grandmother, we would always have our family gathering at my grandmother's house, and she'd always make nishime, and that was my favorite thing of the year, besides that and her makizushi. But so this year I decided to, okay, I'll attempt to make nishime. It does take a long time to make, yeah? So, and so I made the nishime, and the act of making nishime was so natsukashi, right? In that sense of kind of that nostalgia, that sense of connection, of family and of and that connection, right? And so after making nishime, I put it aside and I went to take care of other things, and then just like after service last night, I had some dinner, had nishime, and someone had given me sekihang, and so had that as well, and just like my grandmother did, every New Year's should always put a plate of food at the family butsudan, and so I put a little bit of nishime at my butsudan in memory of her. And in January, this will make 11 years since she was born in the Pure Land. And so, it's a joyful yet bittersweet, yet just a wonderful time of remembrance and of that, of what endures, right? And of what is passed on through the generations, right? And what gives us life, right? And this morning, I woke up early, and I made my mom's ozoni recipe. And waking up really early, like my mom and my grandmother wake up like they were the first ones always up, right? And they'd be making the ozoni, yeah? And then so when everyone else finally woke up, there was breakfast, right? And so, right, these things, these traditions that we have, right, of gathering with family, gathering with friends, gathering with ohana, right, at the new year is a special time of remembrance, of reflection, of renewing, right, those bonds of family and love. And so the new year, right, as we know, is also a time of questions in which we ask ourselves, what did I learn this year? What do I want to let go of? What do I want to bring with me into the new year? This is an opportunity to discern these life-giving questions that we should be living, right? Siddhartha Gautama, the historical Buddha, became the awakened one by asking the question of how can suffering cease? While he attained awakening under the Bodhi tree and discovered the answer within himself, he continued to live the question throughout his life, teaching and sharing the Dharma. Shinran Shonin, the founder of Jodo Shinshu, this school of Buddhism, also begins his spiritual quest of awakening to the compassionate working of Amida Buddha's wisdom and compassion by realizing his own limitations and asking the question of whether there was any hope for enlightenment for someone like him, someone ordinary, someone incomplete, someone imperfect. Shinran famously declares in one of the writings that hell is my only home, or decidedly my only abode. And what he was saying was that he was being brutally honest about his capacity for attaining awakening on his own, right? Of perfectly eliminating all of his passions. Last night we rang the temple bell and as a symbolic release of our attachments and our fetters, right? And Shinran, right, posits awakening as a twofold awakening, or awareness of our own karmic limitations, right? The lack of our own Buddha nature, but yet the working of the Buddha's great compassion, which enables our awakening, right? That we are sustained, that we are enabled to be who we are because of this dynamic working of the universe, which sustains our lives. And so, the life of awakening that Shinran realized was responding to this question. How could he truly hear and respond to the calling voice of Amida for his entire life? And so the life of awakening that Buddhism teaches is one of continual learning and growth, of living the questions of our lives with awe and wonder. Every moment is an opportunity for self-discovery and for better understanding the fullness of life and all of its joys and its sorrows. We are becoming more fully human through all that we experience. From the simple to the extraordinary moments of our lives, we are being shown how we can be and who we truly are. This is the voice of Amida, which is the sound of the universe calling us home to ourselves. It often seems that we have to struggle with more questions than answers. But maybe that's the point of living. If we had all the answers in life, what would there be to learn or to experience or to discover each moment of this amazing life we're living now? How would we grow without having to live the questions of our lives? The transition from one year to another is a time of reflection, rededication, and celebration. During our New Year's Eve service last night, we reflected upon the past year and the numerous causes and conditions that enabled us to live and to grow and to change. And as is tradition, we rang out the old year with the Joya no Kane, the ringing of the temple bell. And so this release of our burdens, this release of our attachments, also becomes an aspiration for how do we want to live this year? What do we want to be doing more of with our lives? In Buddhist scripture, there's a story about a boy named Sudana who learned from his experiences that there is a true teaching to be gained from everything that he saw and heard. And the teaching goes like this. He learned patience from a poor, crippled woman. He learned a lesson of simple happiness from watching children playing in the street and from some gentle and humble people who never thought of wanting anything that anybody else wanted. He learned the secret of living at peace with all in the world. He learned the lesson of harmony from watching the blending of the elements of incense and a lesson of thanksgiving from the arrangement of flowers. One day, passing through a forest, he took rest under a noble tree and noticed a tiny seedling growing nearby out of a fallen and decaying tree, and it taught him a lesson of the uncertainty of life. Sunlight by day, and the twinkling stars by night constantly refresh his spirit. Thus, Sudana profited by the experiences of his long journey. Sudana's story reminds us of how we should approach life with a curious sense of wonder, opening our hearts and minds to the dynamic unfolding of wisdom and compassion. This is why we chanted the Gasho Tomita this morning, to remind us to approach life with our palms pressed together, with a sense of gratitude, a sense of wonder, a sense of joy. This is to live in naturalness, which is the continual transformation of our innermost being. This is the Nembutsu path that Shinran followed, where our ordinary everyday life is the proper place of learning and practice and awakening. Right, as we learned through our making of mochi. The making of mochi is the practice of community. Being together, living and working together side by side through the joys and the sorrows of life. It doesn't get much simpler than that. Right? And so each new year, we begin in winter, which is a natural time of rest and renewal for our bodies and spirits. This is a time for letting go and going within so we can begin again with hope and a renewed ability to perceive the call of awakening in all things. As the writer Rainer Maria Rilke writes in a Letters to a Young Poet, have patience with all that is unresolved in your heart and try to love the questions themselves. Like closed rooms, like books written in a foreign language, don't try to find the answers now. They cannot be given anyway, because you would not be able to live them. For everything is to be lived. Live the questions now. Perhaps you then may gradually, without noticing, one day in the future, live into the answers. What questions will we live into this year? And perhaps we should consider living these questions. How can I love myself and others more? How can I offer compassion and grace to everyone, especially those I disagree with or dislike? Like Shakyamuni Buddha, how can I reduce suffering in the world in my small way? Like Shinran, how can I hear and respond to the calling voice of wisdom and compassion, the working of enlightenment in my life? And like Sudana, how can I experience every moment of my life with an open heart and mind? Wishing all of you a year of profound joy, living your questions and realizing Nembutsu moments of awakening. May Amida's light of all-inclusive wisdom and all-embracing compassion guide our journey ahead. Please join me in Gasho to recite the Nembutsu together. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Nammanda Butsu, Nammanda Butsu, Nammanda Butsu, Nammanda Butsu.
Thank you for your New Year's message, Reverend Lee. Let's now do unison reading of the Shinshu Pledge. Words can be found on the laminated handouts in the back of the pews and on your screen. Please join me in reading the words out loud. I take my refuge in the vow of the Buddha, reciting the name. I will live through life with strength and serenity. I revere the light of the Buddha. I will put my effort in my work with self-reflection and gratitude. I follow the teachings of the Buddha, discerning the right path. I will spread the true Dharma. I rejoice in the compassion of the Buddha. I will respect and help others and do my best for the welfare of humankind. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. We'll now have the offertory presentation. Mahalo everyone for your generosity, which helps to sustain our temple. Please stand as we will conclude this service with singing of the Gatha Nembutsu.
Namandam, 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 namandas, 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 namandas.
You may be seated. This concludes today's New Year's Day service, and here are some announcements. Our upcoming schedule of services and events. Our next hybrid Dharma family service will be next Sunday, January 7th at 10 a.m. Our annual Ho'onko candlelight service, which is Saint Shinran's memorial service, will be held on Saturday, January 13 at 7 o'clock p.m. in the evening. Our guest speaker will be Reverend Blayne Nakasone Sakata, Associate Minister at Hompa Honganji, Hawaii, Betsuing. Remember, the service will be on Saturday at 7 p.m. and not on Sunday morning, okay? So this is Saturday, January 13 at 7 o'clock p.m. And therefore, we will not have any service on Sunday, January 14th. Sunday, January 21, regular Dharma family service will be held at 10 o'clock a.m. On Sunday, January 28th, we will observe the 38th annual Ellison Onizuka and Space Shuttle Challenger Memorial Service at 10 o'clock a.m. And heads up for a fun event in February. The 2024 Gatha Fest will be held on Sunday, February 26th at Hilo Betsuing at 9 o'clock a.m., I believe. It is an annual sharing of gathas by most temples on the Big Island, which was put on hold during COVID. Kona Honganji will participate, and we will soon begin practicing during our temple services. Our unique song has lyrics written by our one and only songwriter, the famous Darren Katayama, who's sitting in the back handling the Zoom, and will be accompanied by anyone wishing to play the ukulele. So for those of you needing transportation, we will try our best to get a van. So please let Maki or myself or Reverend Blayne know as soon as possible, because space will be limited. Okay. So again, this is on Sunday, February 26th, the last Sunday in February. Reminders: be sure to open, read, and click on any attachments and interesting as well as useful links that were included with Reverend Blayne's weekly update email sent this past Friday. For those of you who have ordered and have not yet picked up the 2024 Hompa Honganji Mission of Hawaii calendar, please stop by at the church office to pick it up. Extras are available. The 2024 BDK Teaching a Day calendars are also available, and there is no charge for either of them. As a reminder, free COVID test kits are still available in the conference room. And this morning, Maki told me to announce that in today's West Hawaii Today edition, there's a picture of our mochi making and a short article in the front page. So if you have a chance, take a look at it, either online or if you still have the paper version, take a look at it. So we're kind of famous Yeah, for our mochi making. Okay, any other announcements, Reverend Blayne or anyone else?
Actually, I'd like to actually welcome back Linda Nagai, who received her Tokudo ordination last month in Kyoto, Japan, at our mother temple, the Nishi Honganji. For the past year, we were training together to get her ready to go for ordination. And so she did pass. She did get ordained. And so she's joining me on the altar today, wearing her fuho and her wagesa as a priest. So yeah, but congratulations, Linda. So. And so someday soon, I'll be asking her to share about her experiences and her reflections on her Tokudo experience at a future Dharma family service. So just be ready. So,
Reverend Blayne, you want to just do a short blurb on the triple celebration thing this year?
yes, also, this year, yeah, we can say this now. Yeah, this year, in 2024, Hawaii Kyodan, our statewide organization of Honganji temples, is celebrating a triple celebration, which includes Shinran Shoning's 850th birthday, and also the 800th establishment of the Jodo Shinshu teachings. And so, in Hawaii, the 135th anniversary of Hawaii Kyodan and the establishment of Hawaii Kyodan in the islands. And so this triple celebration will be happening in September 7th and 8th, I believe, of 2024 in Honolulu at the Ala Moana Hotel. And everyone's welcome, and I'll be sending more information on the registration and everything else. There'll be a series of workshops and services to commemorate this momentous occasion. Also, leading up to the anniversary celebration in September, beginning this month up until August, we will be having a monthly series of online Buddhist education workshops and seminars that are free and open to everybody to tune into. And so I'll also be sending the schedule of seminars. We have a great lineup of speakers to learn from. So please take advantage of that. Also, just to know that there is a subsidy for neighbor islanders, people who live on neighbor islands, not on Oahu, to attend the triple celebration on Oahu. So more information will be forthcoming. So.
And also your class on the basics of
Yes. So thank you. Thanks,
yes.
Betty. Yeah. So in this month's newsletter, there was I have a study class on February 17th, which will be kind of an ABCs, kind of an intro to Shin Buddhism and Jodo Shinshu. I will be here in the temple. We'll have a kind of a short kind of presentation and explanation, and then we'll have time for conversation and Q&A and just kind of more dialogue about learning more about this tradition. And that's open to everybody and to the public, and invite friends and family or whoever might be interested. And I'm also I'm restarting up my Buddhist book club again this year. So we'll be reading the book River of Fire, River of Water by Dr. Taitetsu Ono. And it's a kind of an introduction to Jodo Shinshu. And so we'll be meeting for 3 months. So one night a month, basically, to kind of go through the entire book. And so more information is available in the newsletter, and I'll be in my next series of on my email updates. So yeah, so please, it's a fun time, open dialogue, just really more conversational learning and sharing about this tradition. So, and also just a big mahalo and a big thank you to everybody who came out to help with our mochi making on Saturday. It really was a labor of love, and really was a wonderful time of community and fellowship and friendship. And that's what we do best, is work together and live together as community, as friends and travelers. And so that's a wonderful way to start the new year. So thank you again to everybody for your help. So
Thanks, Reverend Blayne. And on this first service of 2024, we do want to recognize our unsung heroes who are here all the time. First of all, our organist, Corinne Chong. Corinne, thank you for always being here for us. And in the back, our Zoom crew, Darren and Lynn Katayama, Alan Matsumoto, and Joey Guzman. They're all here. Thank you for giving up your time on as many Sundays as you can to help us out at the temple. Thank you.
Oh, and then also, sorry, we'd like to welcome Jack and Brenda. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for
Thank
joining
you for
us.
coming and joining us last night and this morning.
So those of you on Zoom, when you are ready to leave, just tap or click on the Leave Meeting button on your screen. For those of you here in person, ozoni and other refreshments will be served in the social hall. Mahalo to Linda Nagai, Reverend Blayne, and anyone else who brought goodies to share. Your attendance today is most sincerely appreciated. Please stay healthy and safe, and may we share many Nembutsu moments together throughout 2024. And before you leave, because there's just a few of us here, Darren's going to do a selfie of us in temple. So kind of, if you can kind of gather more towards the center, so it's easy for him to kind of like take